is their role in this process? How can parents be of help?
Well, so this is kind of where we want to go back to our PowerPoint a little bit, and there's basically 3 steps within the Hoover-Dempsey model that we've learned about. And so we just want to kind of walk through this really briefly tonight, give a little bit of information at each level, and then continue to go from there. So the first thing we want to talk about really is the important messages that we can give our parents, and that's in step 1, or important messages we can give our child, and that's in step 1.
So what are those important messages that you refer to?
You need to try hard. Homework is very important, and school and education are very important also.
And again, the way this framework works is that we work from the bottom up. These are just 3 messages that parents can communicate every day to their children. They're things that, depending on any given time, we're busy, life's crazy, we don't necessarily have time to pull out the table, get everything spread out, and really sit down and have a work session. But these 3 messages really send the message to kids that parents are behind them 100% and that this is what we all expect. Again, it's something that is very easy and something we can do at any given time, any given day on the way out the door, when you come home from school at night. So we found those to be really valuable, and I think working with parents, we want to know that we're sending some of the same messages.
Right, and I often find myself saying this to my own kids, but then also to parents in meetings that, you're your child's first cheerleader. You need to give them that boost every day. To get them off to the right start. And what we do at school also, when we tell kids to try hard, that they can do this, that they're smart and they can handle whatever we give them. If we set the goal high, it's because we know that they can reach it and go beyond that. And that's why we continue to set the bar even higher, so that they can achieve and show themselves that if they try hard and they do the things that are required of them, that they will be successful. And we just want parents to back us up and by saying that yes, they can do that, and we know parents will do that. We have so many parents who are very, very apt at taking care of doing those types of things.
So this is really something very simple for parents to take part in. It's basically parents being on board and communicating these same messages to their students. Is that right?
Yeah. And that's what's great about, I think, this model and talking, is because these are the things that we are talking with parents all the time, and as we partner with parents, these are the messages that they're sending home. So I think another great thing about this model is that it validates what's being done with our families at home already. And 2, at any given time, school is hard, but when parents are behind and saying, you must try hard, keep working towards it, these are values and important messages to be given to our students, both at home and at school.
Great. So we've established this step 1, that students should try hard and value homework, understand that it's important and that school is important in general. So what's step 2? Bring us to the next level here.
Discuss your values, goals, expectations, and aspirations. Learn more about how to help your student learn at home, maintain clear communication with your children's teachers, and learn more about how to be involved in learning at the school.
Okay. Step 2 really involves what parents can do at home. And so again, this is just taking it to just one more step, one more level above on that way to those learning attributes. At this level, I think Yolanda and I can talk a little bit about, it may look different at the elementary level as opposed to the secondary level. And again, so discussing your values, your goals, and your expectations. I know at the high school level, a lot of the discussion we have for this one, for instance, with the what, is continuously talking to kids about what it is they're going to do after school. What college are you going to go to? What programs are you interested in? What trades do you want to get involved in? And it's important not only for school staff to have this, but for parents to have this conversation as well. And many of our conferences really do revolve around some of discussing our goals and our aspirations with our students.
And at the elementary level, it is similar, but it just requires more parent involvement in the sense that just beginning that conversation and framing those goals and those expectations. And when you have that conversation with your youngster, just framing it so that they can understand it. And then, you build upon that, maintaining a workspace, reading to your child. Those are, important things to do in that step 2 piece about what parents do.
Great. So if we have any, elementary school parents watching tonight, what are some ways that they can frame this message? What are some of the values or the expectations or goals that they can be communicating to their students? Can you give us a couple of examples maybe of what they might be talking about?
Just about why they think it's important that they do well in school, why it's important to them, and why should it be important to the child. We want you to do this because we think you can. You're going to be, happy and successful. We want you to do this when you get older. Asking your child what they want to do. Those goals and those expectations are very important. And for children to see you reach goals as a parent is extremely important. So, and making sure that you have that open line of communication of what you as a parent are doing and how you're going to attain those.
Sort of the role modeling.
Exactly.
The student gets to see the parent achieve, and that encourages them to achieve as well. You
And
want to add something, Emily?
I was just going to say, when we also looked at the what in this model, it talks about finding out what you can do at home to support your child's learning. And we realize as school staff that any given night is really, really busy, and that there may not always be time to do a lot at home. But at conferences, if you do have a chance to go and have a chance to talk with the teacher, things that we would really encourage parents to do and to talk about is ways of supporting your child's learning at home. And this may just be reading. It may be setting up a side where there's a table where there's homework. It could be finding out what the research project is coming up. And then constantly communicating with school staff, and maybe it is just to let them know that they're sick, which is great to know, because then we can start to plan. Do we need to collect homework? But it's kind of letting the student know as well that we are working together and we're partnering, we're building that foundation. And then lastly, in the what is also to then find out how you can get involved in school. Then that's extremely important, whether it's through maybe an I-SPIN, whether it's through PSTO, or just volunteering in class. What we have up on the screen now is step 3, and this is the last step in the model. And this really is talking about the how. These are some of the clear hows that we've found in the model, but there's much more to this. And there's, again, 4 points to this as well.
How parents can help is by positively encouraging your child in all their academic efforts, model ways your child can be academically successful, and reinforce your child when he or she does something well. And the last thing to do is teach your child.
So when you talk about teaching your child, does that mean, assisting them in their homework, or is this something outside of academics? Explain, I guess, in a little bit more detail what that means for our parents.
Well, one of the things, I guess one of the points is about teaching your child, and that's, getting hands-on in some ways. If that means that, you bake a cake together, that is science right there. That's a scientific experience. Things like that, just being there, being attentive, and trying to do your best as you can with the circumstances that you have that are surrounding you, but just doing the best you can with what you have.
Sort of taking your everyday experiences and making them educational experiences as well.
If you can try, yes, that's exactly right.
And I think at the secondary level, when we talk about some of the hows, when we get down to, I think some of it is modeling and encouraging the student to take control of their learning. And I think a lot of that comes from talking through, helping a child process what they're going to do next. What's your next step? Modeling, okay, well, if you don't know how to do something, because I realize at the academic level, or at the secondary level, it's so hard to do some of those projects, the math homework, some of the assignments that come home. Even working at the secondary level, I found challenging unless I was able to go talk to the teacher and get more background. And I think for parents, some of the hows is modeling the thought process of how are you going to tackle this problem? What do you do to get to the next level? Again, always being positive and encouraging your students. It's so easy to get down at times, and we all do it. And we've talked with many parents who just, they're so frustrated. I'm so frustrated with my student. And we feel the same way at different times too. And I think something that we're always trying to process is how can we keep positively encouraging our students to stay engaged, to stay involved in their coursework, and focus on what they really want out of school and out of their experience.